We would imagine he will play Week 8. That is when the Chiefs will play the Jets. And our football squad is loaded on this Friday. We've got Rob Ninkovich. We've got Ryan Clark. And I will start with Bart Scott sitting here to my left. What is the most important thing in your mind, Bart, for Kansas City about this acquisition of Bell?
Well, I think what this gives him is gives Andy Reid, he has a little Brian Westbrook. This gives him a supersized Brian Westbrook, somebody that can help him in pass, third down. He's tremendous at that. He's also impossible if you go empty. Imagine the weapons that you have now with Sammy Watkins, with Tyreek Hill, with Travis Kelce, and with Harmon or Sammy Watkins, and then you go empty and put him out as a receiver. He's going to barbecue chicken everybody out there because guess what? You got to put a safety over the top of Kelce. You have to put a safety over the top in case Tyreek Hill gets behind. So now the fifth best defender on your squad is one-on-one with LeVeon Bell, who's very capable, just like McCaffrey, to exploit all matchups in a bit of space. It's amazing.
You know, Ryan Clark, you were telling me this morning, we sit and we talk about the Chiefs as though they have an unstoppable offense, and at times they have, but candidly, they haven't this year. How does this change that?
It gives them their most diverse and versatile chess piece that this team has. And I know you look at Tyreek Hill and you see Travis Kelce and you feel like this team has so many pieces. Look at all these Pro Bowlers and all pros. None of them have the skill set that LeVeon Bell has. None of them have the skill set that had LeVeon Bell attempting to be paid as a wide receiver, a number 2 wide receiver, and a starting all-pro running back. And that's what this team has now. They now have a piece to not be so bored with. And we've watched this team go through lulls. You look at the second half against the Las Vegas Raiders, the first 3 quarters against the Los Angeles Chargers. They were looking for a spark, looking for a piece that they can move around. And Bart is exactly right. Are you going to take your safety off of Travis Kelce? Are you going to move a safety from over the top of Tyreek Hill? Or are you going to take your shot with one of your 3rd or 4th best defenders on LeVeon Bell? That's the decision that you will now have to make as a defensive coordinator playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire has done a great job, but he is not what he will be in the future. But LeVeon Bell is already. LeVeon Bell is already a star. LeVeon Bell has dealt with moving these play pieces around. And think about this for LeVeon. He's used to having AB, Martavius Bryant. He has the Juju Smith-Schusters, the Ben Roethlisbergers. He's used to being a piece of a great collective. Now he has that as well. I think this is a great move for both pieces involved in this transaction.
I noticed you didn't mention any of the dynamic weapons he had as a member of the Jets, RC. I'll just sort of skip past that and move over to Rob Ninkovich.
Like LeVeon Bell, I want to forget that.
Rob Ninkovich, I'll turn to you. Just how good does this make them? I mean, the Chiefs, we already consider them a Super Bowl team. Now you're playing defense against them. Should I use the word unstoppable? Is that reasonable?
Yeah, I mean, it adds a piece to the dynamic offense that the Chiefs are right now. And look, from Bell's first day with the Jets, there was tension with the head coach. And any time your head coach says something about the signing of one of your big-time players offensively, a guru supposed to be a guru on offense, and says something about the signing of Bell, that was just kind of the start of a bad relationship there. And I think that was never mended. It never came back together. So now Bell is going to a place where he's a piece of many different explosive pieces. And that head coach and Andy Reid is going to be able to put him in positions one-on-one versus linebackers, one-on-one versus safeties, to where he's going to expose people in defenses. So it's going to be really, really hard for a defense to prepare to go play the Chiefs now. And I think it's a perfect fit for Bell. He was in a position with the Jets where he was the guy and everybody's focus was on him, to now he's with the Chiefs. And there's a lot more focus of everybody else on that field, and he's going to be able to come in there and be successful. I think it makes the Chiefs pretty unstoppable to me, yeah. So I think, I'm going to go with, I think they're unstoppable now.
Diana, what'd you hear?
Well, Chris Jones is one of his really good friends there, and he was sort of part of this recruiting process. Le'Veon Bell back on the free agency market again, and it always helps, right? When you have that voice in the ear of a veteran person who's been part of this Chiefs organization, who knows the culture, who can communicate to Bell, look, this is what it's like here. This is what you're going to love. This is what you're going to buy into. Right. And, you know, it's hard to find anyone in that organization that doesn't want to be there. And also, you look back at Le'Veon Bell when he was with the Steelers as a pass catcher. He wasn't just good. He was the best running back as a passer, you know, as
in history,
receiving yards in history. And you forget that. And I remember talking to Bell this summer. And look, he's known for saying, this is the hardest I worked. This is the hardest I've worked. But he seemed ignited. He was so psyched to have a good season, and it just wasn't going to work. This offense wasn't good for him, and this is going to be a great offense for him in Kansas City.
All right, so we will see. We will get our first look at him, we would assume, a week from Sunday. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.